I hope you keep a record and keep some of these images of some of the wildest and craziest uses of Outex. That would be really fun. What are some of the wildest things that you know of people have used Outex for?
Well, our social media is a great place for you to go check out because you'll see a lot of examples. And what we find is that a lot of people purchase the gear thinking, oh, I'm going to use it for this. And they end up discovering that they could use it in so many more situations. Some of the craziest examples that come to mind, one is that I was at a photo trade event once, and I think I was walking around either with an Outex hat or something, or I may have had a system in my hand, and I had an FBI inspector whip out his badge, kind of grab me by the arm and say, "You're with Outex, I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I found out that the FBI uses Outex for crime scene investigations. And so he told me that in essence, when you go into a crime scene, the people in the scene will often have gloves, masks, goggles. They'll have full body protective gear, not to introduce contaminants into a scene. Right. And the camera, turns out, is a large conduit to contagion because lots of flat surfaces, metal surfaces, glass surfaces, and there are contaminants that can be introduced into the scene. And the crazy thing about that story is that it has become very relevant in the COVID-19 day and age, because cell phones, all electronics can be conduits to contagion. And a camera has lots of surfaces. You're handling it. You're putting it right up against your face. And people sometimes don't think about that. And a photojournalist died in New York City who used to photograph the Mets, the Knicks, and it's a real problem. A lot of our users are photojournalists, and a lot of photographers who aren't normally photojournalists, as it turns out, are out in the front lines helping document what's going on, testing facilities, test centers, hospitals, and we've been working with them to make sure that they're protected as well. And then the other crazy use that I discovered over the years is military. And we don't know all the different ways that they use it, but I can tell you that we have Outex gear in nuclear testing in submerged pools, both in the United States and outside. And I don't even know all the ways in which they use it, but they send us questions and then we answer. And we also have things like the Marines using it in night vision situations. So they have specific lenses that will work with regular cameras where they need access to the settings, and so they'll physically swim or be dropped in a very inhospitable environment and use Outex for that. And again, I don't know all the different ways that they're using it, but we field those questions all the time.
Well, that is a much better and way cooler answer than I could have ever even hoped for with the FBI and military uses of Outex. That is quite awesome and makes perfect sense.